Good day, everyone. I am Earl Gerald Lapus, freshman MIT student, and today I am going to discuss Enterprise Architecture Program Management Area 4, Staffing. So the gist of my topic will be first, fundamentals of enterprise architecture. Second, enterprise architecture program management. Third, enterprise architecture program management area 4, staffing. Fourth, deeper topics about staffing. And finally, the summary of the whole content. So without further ado, let us start. So this is the fundamentals of enterprise architecture. An enterprise architecture is a conceptual blueprint that defines the structure and operation of organizations. The intent of enterprise architecture is to determine how an organization can effectively achieve its current and future objectives. So basically, it is a conceptual plan or written standard operating procedure for organizations. It is a strategic plan for the current and future improvement of the company. Enterprise architecture involves the practice of analyzing, planning, designing, and eventual implementing of analysis on an enterprise. Enterprise architecture helps business going through digital transformation, since enterprise architecture focuses on bringing both legacy applications and process together in an attempt to form a seamless environment. So, this is a study, analysis, and business plan in an organization. Say for example, I want to put up an IT firm, and after 5 years, I want to expand and add branches to my business. And in order for me to achieve that, I am going to have a clear game plan, and this will be written in an enterprise architectural plan. So let's proceed. The use of enterprise architecture frameworks rose in the response to increase in business technologies during the 1980s, when a need for a way to respond to rapid technology growth was integral to business strategy. This process later expanded to the entirety of business, not just in information technology field. This way, the rest of the business would be ensured to be aligned with digital transformation. So the use of enterprise architecture framework is the way of embracing digital transformation during that time. This served also as a business strategy to expand businesses. Next is the importance of enterprise architecture. Enterprise architecture will help multiple departments in a business understand the broader business model and articulate challenges and business risks. Because of this, enterprise architecture has an important role in unifying and coordinating departmental processes across an organization. Being able to access and understand business capability should also help individuals identify gaps in their business, and from there, they can make more informed decisions. So the importance of enterprise architecture is to interconnect departments and for them to understand business models and set common goals, which is to improve the quality of service. And through this, they will be able to identify points of improvement to make countermeasures about those. So next, the benefits of enterprise architecture. So it improves decision making, it eliminates inefficient and redundant processes, it minimizes employee turnover, it improves adaptability to changing demands or market conditions, it optimizes the use of organizational assets, it makes it easier to evaluate architecture against long-term goals, It can help with the unification of process in information technology. It facilitates collaboration with project management. It supports organization changes for redesigns and reorganization. It can give views of information technology architectures to those outside of information technology. And lastly, it can help simplify finance teams. To sum up the benefits of enterprise architecture, it utilizes everything. Since we have planning in enterprise architecture, every single cent is utilized. The staffing, the budgets, the standard operating procedures, as well as the future plans. Next is enterprise architecture program management. The enterprise architecture management is the ability to plan, design, manage, and control the conceptualization of systems, processes, and/or organizations, and the relationship between them. The conceptualization may be layered to represent specific types of relationships. For example, those between applications, business services, internal information technology services, security, networking, data storage, and so on. So, comparing enterprise architecture to enterprise architecture management, enterprise architecture is the plan and strategies, while enterprise architecture management is the capability of a person to perform managerial skills. So let's proceed. The coverage of enterprise architecture management. So, establishing principles to guide the design and evolution of systems, processes, and/or organization, managing the architectural skills and architecture resourcing, communicating the impact of enterprise architecture activities, providing the architecture vision, roadmap, and governance together with the approaches required for managing their life cycle. And lastly, providing a framework including models or templates that articulates the business, the technical architecture, and the relationships between them. Enterprise Architecture Program Management Area 4, Staffing. What is staffing? In management, the meaning of staffing is an operation of recruiting employees by evaluating their skills, knowledge, and then offering them a specific job roles accordingly. So it is choosing the right person for the position that can handle multiple tasks by screening and having set of qualifications. Next, what is staffing plan? A project staffing plan is an ongoing strategic plan usually made by leaders and project managers in an architectural office to understand and plan your employees' current and future state of work. It allows you to see what number and type of employees are needed to accomplish your office goal and workload. So this is a plan for the employees wherein details such as job roles, responsibility, required skills, number of staffs required, duration, and estimated start date are being stated. Say for example, I hired a contractual for 5 months. On his first month, he will be handling documentation. This will last until the end of his second month, and on the remaining months, he will be assigned as a web developer. Next, this is an example of the project staffing plan that I got in the Upwork. So, the role, the project responsibility, the skills required, the number of staff required, the estimated start date, and duration required is provided there. for more transparent and detailed plan for staffing. Actually, this is just a small or partial of the staffing plan that exists in an organization. Some of the staffing plans has also their job scopes, their required experiences. Sometimes they also has availability of tools. Say for example, if the company requires work from home, they are requiring system unit specs as well as the internet speed. The purpose of a staffing plan is to help you and your leadership team understand the resources that you have right now and plan for personal needs to meet your business goals. A strategic staffing plan can also allow you to, first one, reduce friction between project teams. So, since tasks are distributed among each of the members, this method allows the members to navigate only on the tasks they are assigned and not only to those who are not. Or in other words, there is an authorized person for every operation inside the company so that it will eliminate conflict between teams. Second is maximize productivity across the firm. Staffing will increase productivity in a way that each task will be subdivided and has an in-charge personnel. This will allow tasks to progress and to be done simultaneously, as well as to maximize the time for each of the project. The next one is it will increase employee retention rate. This allows the employees to stay committed to the project because they already had an idea of what the project will be. They already foreseen the planned outcomes, and through that they are going to share ideas for the important or for the improvement of the project operations. So it will eventually increase the employees' retention rate. The last is it utilize your project fees in the most efficient way. So if you have a staffing plan, it will help in utilizing project fees in the way that if plan is existing, there is a specification of qualified in the position. This eliminates choosy and experienced employees that will lead to waste of time and budget. So, or in other words, this avoids job mismatch. Next is how to calculate staffing needs. There are three methods in calculating staffing needs. First is trend analysis. If you are on an established firm, you can apply historical data within your firm to forecast project trends and their necessary staffing requirements. This is typically what architects use since they can generally get a sense of how much time a task will take based on the previous experience. So trend will help program managers as reference of the past experience of the organization. Through analysis of the previous operations, they can assess points of improvements in terms of staffing. So next is ratio analysis. This consists of using two existing industry metrics such as number of residential projects that usually require a specific amount of staff to estimate future needs by your staff by way of a rule of 3 or ratio. Projects divided by staffs is equal to 2 times projects divided by 2 times staff. So in here, project ratio will help in distribution of tasks and responsibilities among the organization to attain proper and equal staffing. Say for example, I have 2 projects simultaneously and I have 14 staffs. So what will I do is to distribute those members according to the number of projects as well as to their skills. So it makes 7 members in each project. So the last one is competitors analysis. Utilizes a competitor's metrics to estimate projects and your staff allocation. Used in cases when internal data is not available or the company wishes to emulate another firm's strategic goals. This is much rarer in architecture firms, but it is a good strategy to talk to other leaders in the industry to learn about what they do if you just got started. So take this as an example. I am putting up a software development team, but since I am new to this, I do not have the data that I need, especially in staffing. So what will I do is to research, to look for the companies that is similar to mine, and look for effective strategies, especially in staffing, and copy them so that my business will end up very well. Next is how to develop an effective staffing plan. First, you must identify your goals. Your goals are compendium of your project's individual objectives plus the general direction of management for business growth. Goals is equal to project-specific goals plus business growth goals. So, they say that in order for you to be successful of what you are aiming for, you need to have a clear vision of your goals. So, this also applies to staffing plan. Next is determine current staffing needs. Medium to large size firms tend to have human resources departments with up-to-date databases of personnel. These usually include more general information like updated staffing and timesheets. But your project managers probably have most comprehensive view of your staffing levels. Meet with leadership and all the relevant parties from different departments to gather the information necessary to create an overall view of your employees. The next is estimate future staffing needs. Understanding your future staffing needs requires projecting some assumptions of your current projects. The idea is to forecast how much and what types of business you will have in future. Some of these forecasts might involve guesswork, but most of them can be based on existing projects and patterns. So take this as an example. I have a web development team, and some of our clients saw that our team is doing very well and they think that we can create another project such as e-commerce. So what will I do as a project manager? I will canvas on, or I will make a research on the possible staffing needs or future staffing needs for this project to be done or to exist if ever that it will be approved. Last one is conduct a gap analysis. Once you have gathered your existing staff information and have created a projection for future needs, you can begin to compare the two and identify spaces that needs to be filled. This is called a gap analysis. This step is critical for your staffing plan. You can find areas of opportunity within the experience level of your current staff or current and future project, or you might need to hire and fill that gap. So, say for example, I have an employee, they are web developers. So, one web developer is good in front-end development, and the other one is for back-end development. So they will work hand in hand to create a wonderful project. So what lacks the one will fill the other one. Next is 5 types of staffing methods. So we have 5 here: project-based staffing, short-term staffing, long-term staffing, strategic or skill staffing, succession planning. Project-based staffing is, or in this type of staffing, you're usually limited to a specific project. This is usually where most architects start with when they first started their own firm. So the benefits that you can meet immediate needs for few specific projects, especially if they are urgent. So the disadvantage is that you only have a narrow view of your staffing needs on a project by project basis with no planning. So one example of project-based staffing is freelancing, or with the use of Upwork, Indeed, and others. Next is short-term staffing, usually employed with a small number of ongoing projects for a limited period of time, like a weekly or monthly basis. So the benefit is that you are able to get a small picture of your firm and rearrange employees among teams if necessary. Your view of your work is only limited to few weeks or months, making it hard to plan for the future. Long-term staffing. This comes hand in hand with long-term planning. This involves the study of your current and upcoming projects as well as your company goals for at least 6 months or even to a year. The advantage is that it provides you with the best overview of your staff, time, projects, and planning. So the disadvantage is that it might take more resources and time if you do not have the appropriate data gathered. Next is strategic or skill staffing, tied to defining goals and analyzing your employees' current skill set. Strategic staffing allows you to make use your goals can be met with talent and skill level that your employees have. You find that there is a skill gap within your organization for your future needs, you might have to start hiring soon. So the benefit is that having a scope limited to skills makes it easier to identify gaps and implement strategy. The disadvantage is hiring based on skills alone for an immediate project need is typically not the best indicator. Looking at culture fit and skills can be used for the long term, can usually generate a longer employee retention rate. The last one is succession planning. Exercise proactively for any projected changes in management. This sort of planning is usually continuously updated as you search and train for possible candidates within or outside your own firm. The benefit is it helps you plan for the full lifetime of your firm, even beyond your own leadership, and will make sure your employees and clients remain happy. So the disadvantage is it is probably the trickiest to apply since there is no single way to approach this and it's highly dependent on your own office culture. People are often the most valuable resource an enterprise architecture has. It is therefore important to ensure that staffing skill, and training requirements are identified for line of business and support service activities at each level of enterprise architecture framework, and appropriate solutions are reflected in the current and future. The architecture capability framework describes the complete organization or structure for building an enterprise architecture capability in terms of roles, responsibilities, skills, organization structure, and processes. This is an important pointer for organizations just starting to build an enterprise architecture capability in the organization. After all, the architectural development method does not run on its own. It requires a team that is well equipped to face the challenges of doing businesses. So, we are up to the last part of the talk, which is the summary. I just want to sum up everything. So, enterprise architecture will help multiple departments in a business understand the broader business model and articulate challenges and business risks. The enterprise architecture management is the ability to plan, design, manage, and control the conceptualization of systems, processes, and or organizations and the relationships between them. Staffing is an operation of recruiting employees by evaluating their skills, knowledge, and then offering them a specific job roles accordingly. A project staffing plan is an ongoing strategic plan usually made by leadership and project managers in an architectural office to understand and plan your employees' current and future state of work. People are often the most valuable resource an enterprise architecture has. It is therefore important to ensure that staffing, skill, and training requirements are identified for line of business and support service activities at each level of enterprise architecture framework. So to conclude, I want to leave you a short quote from Steve Jobs. The secret of my success is that we have gone to exceptional lengths to hire the best people in the world. So once again, I am Earl Gerald Lapus. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day.